Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of MGR Unplugged. This is Manuel Gil del Real, and today I interview Kayla Wilson. She's a good friend and a young woman going through a number of struggles and life challenges that a lot of people go through these days, especially young people. She tells me her own story, what her life is like, and where she would like to be in the years to come. Please take a listen. All right, I'm here with Kayla. Kayla, welcome and thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
Good, thank you for having me.
All right. Hey, listen, I've known you for, when did I first meet you? It was about 3 years ago or so. Were you still in high school?
At Starbucks, yeah, I was working at Starbucks.
Yeah, you were working at Starbucks, I remember that. But were you still at school? Or
No, I actually just got out of high school.
Okay, so that was just after high school, and you were working at Starbucks in a local one that I used to go there every day after hours, get a little extra couple of hours of work for me, and you were there, and then you were nice enough to remember what I usually have for a drink and have it ready for me by the time I walked in, which was very nice. So since then, we've been kind of seeing each other every now and then, just talking, having meetings and discussing work and life and everything, and it's pretty nice. I'm definitely, I was looking forward to having you on the show. I've discussed so much stuff. I actually, believe it or not, I learned from you. You don't know that, but I've learned from you. I learn from everybody. I'm an open book, and I don't have any, regrets on saying, I learned from 23 years old. I learned from people that are 50, whatever. I mean, there's always like little nuggets that you get from people that actually you learn, So I really appreciate, the fact that you're here, and I consider you a very interesting woman now, as far as things that you do, that you're trying, your mentality and everything else to be able to share it with whoever is listening to this, So thank you for coming, really, and let's have some fun. Let's have a little conversation. So just for people that don't know much about you, could you give me a little brief summary of yourself? I know you feel a little bit uneasy about your past and everything. Just whatever you feel comfortable sharing with us about your upbringing, where you grew up, your family, whatever you want to share with people.
Okay, so to start with, I was born in Delaware, but I was raised in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. So I did have a difficult upbringing. I had a single mom, really, because my dad was never there. She obviously tried her hardest to, do as she could, best she could when she had us at 19. So I just appreciate everything she's done for me. My dad, he's just he's a character within itself.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good. I like that.
Do you have any specific questions for me, Manuel?
I have many specific questions. So your dad, he doesn't live in here, right? In Phoenix.
No, he lives in Maryland.
Okay. Do you are you in touch with him?
Every now and then.
He'll
call me every now and then. I don't have his phone number though. No.
Okay, so you guys have basically you live with your mom right now.
Correct.
Okay, and then siblings. I know you're a twin sister, so you have obviously a sister.
Right. Yeah, we're completely opposite. And she's the girly type. I'm more of the tomboy, dressed like a boy sort of thing.
Okay. And you have a little brother too?
I do. Yep. He's 19.
19. Oh, she's not so little anymore. He's
no.
He's a big boy now. Okay, so he's already. What's he doing? He's finished high school, or
he's in college now at.
Oh, he's in college.
At Scottsdale, playing soccer for them.
Okay, good for him. Yeah, I remember you told me a while ago that he was in high school or something. So yeah, wow, time flies. Awesome. You guys, how do you guys get along between your sister, your brother, and family and everything else? Your mom, how's the family relationship these days?
We tell each other everything. I mean, Our family is really close, I'd say. Obviously, there are those few family fights. Me and my sister don't get along that well.
But family fights. Otherwise, it would be a boring family.
But hey, other than that, we've got a pretty solid family. We'll
okay, so the three of you, your brother, your sister, and you and your mom are in the same household together now?
Right.
Okay. All right, beautiful. So what are you doing these days? I know you used to work at Starbucks, and then you moved... I lost track. I think you went to what was that after the Dish Network? No.
Well, first I tried the military. I tried boot camp, and then I started working at Starbucks.
Okay, so hold on. Let's go to the military first. So, what did you try in the military, and why? Why did you like? I mean, the military is a lot of discipline. I tell you that because I come from about 3-4 generations of military people. My father was in the Air Force. He just passed away about 3 months ago. But yeah, he was an Air Force person. His father was in the Army. His grandfather was in the Army. So I know he's extremely disciplined. So what attracted you to the military?
Really to find a purpose. I was working one day at Safeway in the produce section, and I saw a Marine come in, and just the way he approached me, I had to go shake his hand. I had to introduce myself, and it just started from there.
So that was when you were, what, like 19 or?
Yes.
Wow, that's commitment. So how did it go? What happened?
I started the Poli program where it's kind of just like a little program right before you head off to boot camp, where they try and get your mentality right before you head there. And in that group, it's kind of something where you build like a brotherhood, or however you want to call it. There is really where I felt like I had purpose. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to go to be a legal admin, something I really wanted to pursue because I liked arguing, and I wanted to be a paralegal and then pursue to be a lawyer.
Okay. So how did it go? How long were you there? Obviously, you're not there anymore, so there's a little story behind that. Yeah,
so it didn't really rule in my favor. I kind of ended up screwing myself over. I ended up leaving probably at a time I shouldn't have, and I ended up having to leave boot camp a little bit sooner than I expected. I wish I could have stayed, but unfortunately it wasn't in my favor.
Okay. So did you miss it when you left it, or?
I did, very much.
Did? Okay. All right. And then after that you went to work. You obviously had to make some money, and you found a job at Starbucks. That's what you did?
Right.
Okay. Did you like it there?
It was all right. It was very fast paced. The manager was kind of a nutcase. So
I remember that manager. I still see her every now and then. That's just okay. She's just a manager. She manages like 3-4 stores in the area, I think.
Yeah, but it got me to realize.
But it gave you some discipline. It gave you some kind of workplace, habits.
Yeah, and it got me to realize some people are going to be entitled, and you have to just deal with those entitled people.
Well, if anything, the good thing with those types of jobs, when you're in a fast food place or a coffee shop or whatever, you get to meet a lot of people that come and go, and you see people's attitudes. Some people feel like entitled. Some people feel like, like you're supposed to know everything they want on their coffees, and Starbucks is a particular place where, I have my own opinions, but it's like people think that coffee is the most important thing in their lives or something, and you screw up their order. It's like, oh my god, my coffee is with whole milk. I told you I wanted a latte with skim milk. You ruined my life. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, get a life. It's like
it's the end of the world.
Yeah, I got a perspective there. It's like, all right. So then after that, where'd you go after that? It was
I went to Dish Network.
Dish Network, and that was just pure customer service type call center or something.
Yeah, that was the first call center I'd ever worked at. So. It was just getting my foot in the door. I was there for a little over a year, and then I pursued to DHL, an international shipping company, which is where I am now. Been there for about 9 months.
So what do you do now at DHL? Is it customer service too, or?
Yes, but I'm trying to get out of the position, the frontline position that I'm in, and there's a a supervisor position open that I'm trying to get. So.
Okay. Do you like it there? Those are just jobs, basically. I know that you're trying to do something different, but in the meantime, you need to get something to pay your bills. Is that a good definition of what you're doing now?
It's not what I want to do now. It's
right.
Not something I see myself doing, of course.
Basically, people work for companies with the goal of moving up and eventually getting a nice, managerial position or directorial position in a company and grow with the company. Or they just go to a company, whatever it is, just to get a job, pay the bills, and then while they find their own gig or start their own business or do something that is different,
Right. So I'd rather be my own boss.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get to that in a little bit. Okay. That's good. All right. So let's go back a little bit in time. And when you were in school, you went to school here in Arizona, right? When did you come here?
Second grade.
Second grade. Okay. And then you were always in this area, with these local schools, or?
Yeah, we pretty much stayed in Ahwatukee for the most part. We moved to Maricopa for a bit, but we always stayed at DV because that was the best school for us.
Okay. Do you like school, like when you were elementary, middle school stuff? Were you a good student?
I was a little bit rebellious, I guess you could say.
I can see that. But that's good. That could be an asset depending on how you use your rebellious attitude, you know?
So good student, I mean, not really. I could have been better.
Okay, as far as grades, is that what you mean?
I could have done better if I tried, yeah.
But you didn't do because you just basically didn't care, or
right.
You just had too much fun on the side, or both, or...
Yeah, I just didn't care.
I know you're smart, so you don't do well. It's because probably you just didn't care.
I mean, I would end up ditching school in the mornings and...
Okay, all right. And I know you're also a gay woman, and you... I wanted to... I know the story because you and I obviously have talked about it, but I wanted you to kind of relate to me or to the listeners. When did you first realize that you were gay, basically? And the thing is that I don't even know if that was something that you knew or not, because you were pretty young, I think.
Yeah. So actually, I feel like I've known pretty much my whole life, because in 5th grade, I really started noticing I liked girls. But before that, I started dressing in my brother's clothes. We had hand-me-downs, and some of them didn't fit him. And I started wearing those clothes to school, like in 2nd, 3rd grade. I would probably wear the same outfit 3 times a week, and my mom started noticing, and she kept trying to get me to wear different clothes, buying me different clothes, and then she realized I wouldn't accept any of the new clothing that she was trying to buy me, and eventually I just got out of it. I remember there's this one T-shirt that I actually still have. It's black and it's got a white skull on it with pink writing on it. But my mom, I begged and begged in the store for her to get it for me, and she said no. And then she realized how upset I was that she wouldn't let me get it, and then she let me get it, and I ran back all the way around the store, grabbed the T-shirt, and that's cool. Yeah, awesome.
So that was in like 5th grade is when you obviously is at an age where you start kind of all the older girls and everything start looking at boys and stuff, and you realize I'm not. Did you feel different? I mean, at that age, do you know about being gay or not being gay, or I mean, I'm not sure when I learned myself about gay versus straight. I mean, it's like, I think I learned it, I don't know, when I was a teenager or something, but I'm not sure if I don't remember when I was in high school myself, which is obviously a long time ago, if I ever had a kid or a person in my class that basically was gay or not, or said anything. So was it strange for you, or do you feel fine?
No, the only strange part for me, I would say, is when the kids at school found out. Okay. Just because being accepted wasn't really something I could grasp. I didn't realize that people wouldn't like me because of,
they didn't like you?
No. So, I mean, I guess you could say I got teased as
really? Okay.
Yeah, as a child in middle school.
Okay, yeah, that sucks. I would imagine that at this day and age, I mean, people just know that it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So, but when you told your parents or your mom in this case, or your family, I mean, your brother, sister, whatever, what was the any reaction, or we kind of figured we knew it? I mean, was it matter of fact, or how was it?
So I actually wish it would have went about a different way, but. I mean, you can't really change things. My sister ended up telling my mom because she found out I was getting bullied in schools, and my sister came to my mom, told her about it, and I just walked in the room and my mom was crying. So I guess my first reaction was a little bit uneasy, but obviously now that I'm older, me and her way more close, and she understands more of it now. Okay,
well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, and that's one thing. Obviously, I'm a whole different generation from you, and I just think there's so much more openness these days about everything that I think is the way it should have been. But you almost think that we're not there yet for some things, but it almost looks weird to me, like why weren't like this so many years ago? Why is such a big fuss when some person says I'm gay? Okay, I don't care. You are Kayla to me, I don't care whatever orientation or this other person or whatever. So it's kind of interesting how people are kind of labeled this way or that way or whatever. I don't know if that affects you or not, but
Times are changing, though. I mean, this day and age, I feel like people are a lot more open to the idea.
Exactly. And it kind of makes you feel like, why wasn't this way all the way back? You know, it was like lack of knowledge, or it was taboo or something. Like, you hear these terms coming out of the closet, this and that. It's like, why didn't I come out of the fucking closet? I was always the same person, you know, just that's it. Okay. All right. So that's good. So today, what is a typical day in the life of Kayla? I mean, a typical work day or normal day or weekend or whatever. I mean, assuming you get up early, go to work. I mean, just give me a little bit of your normal routine.
Yeah, so I usually work the typical 9 to 5. It's actually 9 to 5:30. I try to wake up about 2 hours early, give myself a little bit time to relax and wind down before I have to go to work. I usually don't eat breakfast. I'm not a morning person who eats breakfast. I'll eat a late lunch, I'd say about 10, 11. So I'll try and get it's like a kale shake. It's got yogurt in it. It's got a bunch of greens in it. I try and get that in at least 3 times a week. And then I'll do a bit of overtime. I'll come home, wind down, smoke a bowl.
Oh, you do?
Relax a bit, yeah.
That relaxes you? Is that what you do?
Yeah.
Okay. At home or somewhere else?
At home.
Okay, that's good. Do you work out? Do anything exercise-wise?
Oh,
do you
yeah.
like any sports? I remember back in the days you used to do a lot of skateboarding stuff.
Oh, yeah. I still do that from time to time.
You ever broke a bone?
No, I haven't. A lot of scars, though.
Okay.
You're going to have me knock on wood here.
Yeah. But do you do any other sports, biking or anything, hiking? Do you like any of the stuff outdoors or?
Yeah, I like hiking. Basketball.
We have a lot of nice trails here.
Basketball is fun when it's not hot out.
Yeah, basketball is fun.
In the gym inside, yeah.
Of
course.
All right, good. So I know you and I get together now and then talking about motivation and all that stuff. And what kind of motivates you these days? Where do you find when you have a routine day, 9 to 5 jobs, and this it's kind of hard. Sometimes you feel like you just go through the motions, and then days go by, but you have this internal motivation. So what do you think motivates you these days? Something that kind of gives you a little extra enthusiasm and juice in life, basically.
To make it so that my mom doesn't have to work anymore. I guess that's what really keeps me going. That's what's, I guess, kept me going as a child. I've seen her, struggle working 2 jobs, even now 3 jobs. So I just want to make it so that she doesn't have to struggle anymore. That's what.
Okay. And how do you motivate yourself? Aside from what motivates you in that sense, how do you motivate yourself? Do you have any kind of mantra or anything that you say, that you talk to yourself? I talk to myself all the time when I'm working out. I mean, not out loud, but mentally stuff. I'm having like conversations in my mind about things that I want to do, things that I want to say, things that I want to achieve or something. I'm constantly, if I'm not listening to podcasts or whatever, I'm always kind of I have a lot of self-motivation speeches that I give to myself, So do you have any type of motivation technique to get you energized when you need it?
I guess I don't. Now that I really think about it, I don't.
Okay. Is there anything that lifts your spirits, like maybe music, maybe some kind of movies, or doing something, hanging out with friends, anything like that?
Yeah, hanging out with friends. I mean, yeah, that's going to be the obvious one. Hanging out with friends, going out.
Okay. What kind of if I ask you for, or if I say which person or individuals or anything you admire the most? Obviously, you probably admire your mom,
mm-hmm.
but aside from family members, like, it could be an acquaintance, it could be your boss, it could be a person you met, or whatever. What kind of person you admire? Say, okay, I feel like this person is an accomplished person. I basically admire this person. It's a good example.
Yeah, actually, there is one person that comes to mind. My boss, Shane Rudder, she's very positive. She's always found a way to keep me positive, even when I'm at my lowest. And I could just come to her, even though she's my boss, I could come to her with any issue, like outside of work, and she'll be there for me.
This is your current boss?
It is,
at
yeah.
DHL?
It is.
Okay, good. So does she know about your ambitions to do something else, and she's trying to help you move to from one department to another, or just help you basically get a little more of your life?
Right. Yes, she is. She's trying to get me off of her team.
Okay. Awesome. That's good. So going back to your career right now, or your job, I know that you always kind of you just said that you want to be your own boss, and you want to eventually start your own business of some sort. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But how do you juggle the fact that you obviously have a job, you need to make money, you need to pay bills, and then you come home and you're tired, with your ambition to become an entrepreneur or do something that is beyond 9 to 5 type job?
I struggle with the mindset. I don't know how I'm supposed to have a startup working a 9 to it would be hard to do both at the same time, I guess you could say. Well,
it is hard. I mean, most of the people that start their own business or their own startup, like you said, they have a job because they have to pay their bills like everybody else, and then they start dedicating some time in the evenings or weekends to their business until it starts getting some traction, and they start feeling if it's going to work. And it's not like you're going to start a business and it works right the first time. I mean, you're going to go through different attempts, not failures, but attempts of different business and variations, but you always have to do it after hours because you cannot quit your job. Your job is basically paying the bills, but you use your job as the financial security, but then you use your extra time to start your own business or try something different. And then once that business or side little gig that you have starts getting some traction enough that you can feel the future, when you get to a point when you say, if I have more time, this side gig, this business that I'm starting now will be much more profitable. And the limitation is not money or anything or anything. It's just basically time. Then is when you start thinking, this may be the time that I need to think about quitting my job or putting myself as a part-time transition, saying, hey, I can only be part-time, and then dedicate more time to the business, to your business, and then eventually you quit your business altogether or your job altogether and dedicate full time to your business. So there's a transition there, but to me the apex is when you see that at that point the limitation for your side business growth is more time limitation, that you just wish you have more time to basically advertise more or promote it more or be able to fulfill orders, whatever it is. Basically, time is the limit, and then you're spending 8-9 hours every day doing something else, so then you become your own person, and hopefully that will happen. So anyways, that's my experience with things that I've done, and I think it'll be the same for you. But at the same time, obviously you are only 23 as of now, so you should be definitely very patient and try a lot of things. So where do you see yourself, if I can give you a little bit of a crystal ball right now, where do you see yourself ideally in the next 5 to 10 years? I know it's a long range for you, it's almost like a half a lifetime, but let's say 5 years. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I would see myself almost in the same position of you, with a bit of stability, but being humble at the same time. Not acting, with a sense of entitlement, feeling like I'm better than others just because I have more money. I want to remember where I came from, so I do see myself in the future with having a cash flow bigger than I obviously have now. So,
and what is preventing you from getting there? What do you see as the obstacle that is preventing you from whatever? I mean, when you create a roadmap, just like a trip, you say, okay, I'm in Phoenix and I want to go to San Diego. And you say, okay, that's about 400 miles away or whatever the distance is. And then we're going to go through here. And then 6-7 hours later, I'm going to end up in San Diego. So do you have a roadmap now for your next 5 years or something similar mentally, even not written maybe, but mentally saying, okay, this is my plan. I'm going to do this. And hopefully in the next 12 months, I'll be at this level of income or whatever, and then I can try this. Do you have some kind of map or something, or what do you think is preventing you from getting to where you want to be in 5 years? Or what are you doing to basically make that happen? Cash flow, everything that you just mentioned.
I'm looking for something that makes me really passionate. I'm looking for something that allows me to wake up in the morning, that allows me to motivate myself even more than today. I want to have a business that empowers me and other people.
if you could choose one quote unquote gift or one magic wand effect that you would love to have right now that is going to help you get to where you want to be, what would that be?
Honestly, I want to help others in a way. I know it kind of sounds silly, but
no, it doesn't sound
if there's a way for me to make money and help others, I would do it.
So money is the thing that is preventing you from, obviously everybody says, oh, with more money I will be able to do this and that, but I can guarantee you that you give half of these people all this money and then blow through their money, and then they still end up where they ended up. I mean, there's people, notorious people that are poor, win the lottery, blow their money, and they go bankrupt. They just don't know what to do with it. They actually misuse it. So any tool that you may receive is only as good as the person using the tool. So that's kind of the reason behind my question. Is like, you were to choose one thing, it's like, okay, I wish I could buy 5 years of experience, or I wish I could just get like $1 million to achieve everything that I want to do, invest it this way, that way, or I wish I could get whatever. I mean, if you were like trying to get one thing that you think is going to shorten or give you a little shortcut or speed up your achievements, what would that be? Not for everybody, not everything is money. I mean, sometimes it's something different.
I would say it would be time and money, because I don't have either.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the time to put. I guess I'm really thinking for the boss man, right? Because I'm working that 9 to 5. I'm not thinking for myself. I'm dealing with other people's BS. I'm not thinking about my future. I'm not really thinking about what I want to do next.
Okay. Another question, or one thing that I actually like to ask when I interview younger people like you, like when I grew up, I went to college and school and everything. Obviously, different time, no internet, no social media, nothing. I mean, basically, it was old-fashioned relationships. You know, you go out with your friends, you look out the window, your friends are hanging out on the street, and you go down, play soccer, whatever. You call your buddies on the phone, line is busy, you can even leave a message, then whatever, you know. So it was much more, back then it was normal, but compared to today, it's like if you call somebody and they don't answer, it's like, oh shit, you know, you text, you this, you need like immediate reaction, immediate responses and all that stuff, and then you have text messages on social media, you know a lot about what everybody's doing. People are checking in here, checking out there, you know, all that stuff. And the same thing for research. I mean, when I went to college, if I wanted to study or do something, it was all books. There was nothing else. I mean, either you own the book or you go to a library and research or study with friends, whatever. But basically, there was no internet that you can do research or anything. So in my eyes, things are so much easier these days than they used to be when I was growing up, you know. But at the same time, there's so much more competition because it's easier for everybody too. So it's making everybody be more, like everybody could be a rock star basically overnight if they want to, just with social media influencers, you know, things like that. So what is your, how does the internet, social media and all this interact with your life? Or how involved are you with social media and relationships and things like that?
Honestly, I'm not really into social media. I deactivated my Facebook about 3 years ago now.
How smart.
I haven't activated it since. I mean, it's really all a bunch of complaining and, oh, look at me. So I'll go on Instagram every now and then, but it's really just to see what people are doing. And
mm-hmm. But you yourself are not very active posting things or anything. You don't find it. I mean, don't you find that, I mean, if social media started with a purpose to basically socialize and people get in touch with their friends and family, and now it's becoming like a total lack of privacy, like everybody knows everything about everybody.
Yeah, and also I feel like the people who post things, I know it kind of sounds bad, but they get off on their likes. They want to see how many likes they can get. And if they don't get enough likes, they'll take it down and repost it later.
Oh, really?
It's just so silly. They really only care about who likes them or who doesn't. And
right. So basically, Right. I mean, that's one of the reactions that a lot of people, especially younger people or even older people too, they do something, they post it, they just want like the notoriety of the publicity of making sure, like you said, that they get enough likes. And I'm not sure about them taking it down, but maybe they do. I don't know. But I do know girls that are very conscious about how many likes they get and how soon and all that stuff. And then they take selfies and pictures, and then they post the 10th version that is perfect and all that stuff. And it's just like, it's portraying an image of perfection and everybody's life is perfect. That is just not reality, you know. So nobody posts anything about struggles or things like that. Everybody has a beautiful life and say, oh, life is beautiful, this, I'm on vacation here, I'm hanging out with my friends. And then in reality, their life is just like, they have struggles like everybody else, you know. But I just don't know how, you know, like, social media is affecting more of the younger generations that are grown and they basically grew up with social media already in their lives. I can see the difference between before and after, because when I grew up, there was no internet, there was no social media. But and I can appreciate the good things that social media brings, because not everything is bad, but also there's a bunch of bad things. And the same thing with the internet and the spread of knowledge and everything else, you know, democratization of information and everything else. But I have that kind of perspective between what was before and after. But the newer generations that they never knew what it was like to actually say, hey, Johnny, are you available tonight? Let's get together. That was it. You know, you get together with your friends and you get a hold. And it was a little more personal socializing as opposed to social media through the internet where you actually don't see people, you know?
Yeah. So I think maybe Facebook, if there was no Facebook, people would actually care about going up to someone and having a conversation.
It's like there's not a person that I know that has actually 5,000 friends. You know, I mean, I count with the fingers of one hand how many good friends I have. And I actually, with my good friends that are all over the world, to be honest, and I don't even communicate with them that frequently. But when I need them, I know they are there. And the same thing with family. I have family all over the place, and I talk to them. And when I talk to them, I really enjoy talking to them. I don't just text message them or whatever, you know. So, but all this competition of, I have 5,000 friends or followers or this and that. It's like, you don't even know 99.9% of those people.
Most of them are bought, really. Did you know that people can buy followers these days?
Yeah. All right. So let's get into a very basic question that I like to ask people, but sometimes the answer is a little more elaborate. What makes you happy these days?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I know it's a simple question, but the answer is like everybody chokes like, oh shit, I don't know. I mean, seriously, I mean, like, and I give you a little background. I always, because we're talking about social media and all that stuff, and everybody kind of seems to have a happy life, but then there's a lot of struggles, and you know, everybody's kind of in a bad mood and short fused and all that stuff, and you deal with a lot of customer service things and how people overreact to very trivial situations in life, you know. And they don't even know what real struggles are. And then to me, you know, it seems like people are happy when they keep adding more stuff to their lives. Like, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to buy that, I'm going to do this, do that, whatever. Just adding more, like keeping up with the Joneses and all that stuff. Whereas what I found out is that I'm actually happier when I eliminate things that make me unhappy. You know, so it's basically achieving happiness by eliminating things that make you unhappy. So I don't need to buy new stuff. I don't need to get this stuff. I just need to get rid of things that bother me. If this person is negative or whatever, okay, fine. You know what? Get your negativity somewhere else, and I don't need to hang out with you. That way I'm going to be happy. If this other client is paying the ass or whatever, it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe we're not the best agency for you. You need to find another agency because everybody's kind of grieving here when we get a call from you. You know, so that makes me happier just because we don't have that kind of situation. So there's things that bring you like little annoyances every day, whether it's people, situations, whatever. And the more you eliminate and simplify your life from all these things, then you're just happy by elimination instead of by addition, you know. So that's what I found out in the last few years. And but I'm kind of curious to see, because obviously I'm an old guy now. Not that old, I mean, older than you. But I would say I have more experience with life. But in your case, I think younger people always say, what makes you happy? Oh, like, you went through this. A new car, which we know the story.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you're going to tell the story, but I know it. You know, we'll keep that for another story, for another time. But the car didn't make you happy, which I told you. I told you.
You did warn me. It's
I
a
know.
material
I did warn
thing.
you. You bought a new car or a very flamboyant car, and I said that's not gonna make you happy. You said my mom is proud of me. I said your mom will be proud of you with or without a car. It's a mom. Okay?
Hey, it was a Challenger.
I said, trust me, your mom is not proud of you because you bought the car. She's proud of you because you are her daughter.
She was proud of me for
The fact that you could afford to buy a car.
Right.
Yeah, but the car itself was not gonna make you any better or different. And as it is right now, that car is not even with you anymore for different reasons that we're
Rest in peace.
beyond the scope of this podcast. But anyway, so that's my point. What makes you happy these days? I mean, little situations. What is it that?
I would say having another day to wake up to. Because, I mean, just on the way to work, I saw a biker on the ground, and they were doing CPR on him. He must have had a heart attack or something. And I was just thinking, you've got to be thankful for every day, because you don't know when your last is going to be. You don't know what your last word to someone's going to be. So you've got to make it as every day is your last. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good. By the same token, when you run into social situations or you meet other people, what kind of personality traits bother you? Like you say, oh, this guy's or this girl or whatever is whatever. What kind of attitudes or whatever bother you that you try to avoid those?
I would say when they feel that they're better than others. Mm-hmm. When people feel like they should be put first in a situation, and really it's not. We're all equal. So.
Okay. All right. No, I mean, it's almost the same as asking you what kind of personality attracts you from other people.
Okay.
Like it'll be kind of the opposite question, but it's saying, okay, when you run into, you meet people or whatever, you say, okay, this person, I really like him because they're open, they're natural, they're authentic, they're whatever, like what kind of personalities you prefer to hang out with?
I prefer the more mature type. I don't like someone who's someone can be older but be immature. Mm-hmm. And I've come across that a lot where I've run into someone who is an adult, say in their 40s, but really immature. I don't like people who talk bad about others behind their back, as you know, because I was bullied. That's kind of something that people bullies do. So I don't like a bully. I don't like someone who's just disrespectful. It's someone who's loud to another person in public, Mm-hmm. Like if two people were fighting in public about something, it should be personal at home. Probably keep it at home. Or I don't really like disrespect, really. So
speaking of personalities, if you were to make yourself better, what kind of thing would you change about yourself? Like what is it that you do or not do that sometimes you say, I wish I was more X, Y, Z sometimes, or what would you like to improve on as far as your own personality, human being wise?
I would say probably being less aggressive or less negative. I could come off as an aggressive person sometimes when I first meet you.
So is that something that, do you have any regrets sometimes? Like there's a situation where you kind of, after the fact, you in retrospective, you say, I wish I had done less this, more that. Is that what happens?
No, just a little less aggressive about it. I mean, I'm always an honest person, so whatever I have to say, whenever I say it, is always going to be the truth, no matter what. So I don't have any regret in that aspect. I just wish I might have maybe went about it in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Are you the kind of person that is trustworthy, that you trust people right away unless they give you a reason not to, or the opposite, that you don't trust people until a long time and then you start getting a little more, trusting them a little more?
I would probably say I'm a little bit closed off at first. And then once you get to know me, of course, I'll be more open to you. I'll trust you. But yeah, it takes a little bit more.
It takes a little bit to warm up to people.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between, it's just people in general, or you feel more comfortable, like when you see a woman or a girl in the beginning, you trust them a little more than a guy, or
no.
It doesn't matter?
No, just personality, really.
Okay.
How you approach.
Okay.
How you approach each other, I guess you'd say. Like, if the vibes are there right away, if you click right away, then you'll know that the conversation is going to be there.
Okay. Do you read books?
When I can, not really.
Do you like reading at all?
Articles. I'm more of an article reader.
Articles.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you read a lot of business articles, or what kind of reading do you like to do?
I like to catch
Biographies, anything?
There are a lot of politics that I've been into lately, just because it's kind of, out there in the open. I've kind of just been immersing myself in that.
Okay, I'm not gonna ask you about politics because that's just
not a good
topic that I personally I have my own opinions, and to me, politics is kind of a dead subject because nobody agrees on anything, and you're not gonna convince anybody about anything else. So, anyways. But it's always interesting and entertaining to see political debates on shows and everything else, and that's why they got so much ratings. Especially we have a president now that tweets everything, so Twitter must be very happy with his account. All right, so I think this pretty much finishes this podcast. How do you feel about it?
I feel good. I mean, there might be a few things that I might still need to get out there, but it can hold back for now.
So if I were to ask you about your next business venture, or what is it that I know you obviously want to start be your own boss, and at some point maybe start your own business. What kind of business are you looking into, or businesses? I mean, are you looking at different options? Do you have anything that you can share, or you're not still decided?
I think I'll give you a sneak peek on the next podcast.
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to add? Any comments, questions? Where can people find you? Your fans?
Oh no, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. You can find me on Facebook.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Instagram, anything? She'll find you. Don't worry. If you're interesting enough, she will find you. So don't ask for Kayla, because she's elusive, but very interesting. Hey, Kayla, thank you very much. I really appreciate your spending time with me. Today is actually Sunday for everybody that is listening to the podcast. Whenever they are listening to, it's Sunday morning. We started at 11. I don't know what time it is now. It's almost noon now. But she actually made the time on a weekend because of her busy schedule to record with me, and I'm open anytime. So really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Manuel.
Thanks for doing this with me, and then we'll probably catch up again maybe in 6 months. See where we are. Oh no!
Maybe next week.
You didn't tell me about part 2. Oh, there's always a part 2. We always do it. We always kind of see what's happening in the last 6 months or something. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.